Hi, thanks for clicking on this video. Hopefully my volume's up a little than last time. Um, so when I started speaking to y'all, I told you that this was I'll do other things, trust me. It's subject to change, remember that. But I told you that this was going to be something that hit me and I felt that I needed to speak on, that came from the heart, that was just one of those in the moment things. So last night, and it's been going on for some time, but last night I was alerted to Radiant Britt and Alicia Dougherty, and her speaking on her content and her children and so forth. So, I don't know where to begin because it's so convoluted to me that let's start with Alicia. She's a mother of 12 now, some adopted, some biological, possibly kinship. Maybe they've been adopted already. I'm not positive, so I don't have all the facts. This is just my brain speaking to y'all right now on things that are really bothering me. And a lot of people think that, well, let's start. Alicia does all the social media. She has YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. She does it. She's been on morning shows. I don't want to misquote, but like the Today Show, Good Morning America type, those type of shows. And introduced her family and did little segments and stuff. But I think for me, she's most known for what I fed my kids today. And she does these little compilations of what she made their lunches and packed the lunch bags and breakfast and dinner, or if there's a birthday, what they had for breakfast, lunch, dinner. Sometimes they have a cake, sometimes they have a cookie, it's just whatever the child wants for that holiday, their birthday, they get basically to pick. And so it's kind of just a short compilation most of the time of what they had that day. I don't see anything wrong with it. That's my take, so I know everybody's different. But a lot of people have issues with the sugar content or how healthy they are. Or I don't know. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I got a child that grew up on chicken nuggets, and she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So don't come for me. I don't care. Happy, healthy, successful. So don't what they eat is important. I get that. But not to the point what people are talking about online right now. It's just absolutely insane what people pick apart and what they go after in her content. But I guess the biggest thing right now for me is there's children are complicated. Complicated. And if you have more than one, they're not all the same. You raise them in the same house with the same rules, with the same foods and activities and how much television they get or whatever, computer time, it doesn't matter. They're all different. And God forbid when they get to that teenage years, you never know what you're going to get. No matter what you put into that child, you, no, you don't know what's going to happen when hormones start fluctuating and influences from outside your home come in. And so, you can't. We all have an idea of what is the proper way, what would be the most successful way, what would produce the most successful human beings that come from our homes. But you can't. There's so many things that are factors in developing children. And now, mind you, some of hers come from other situations that I don't want to know about, to be honest with you, but we don't know about. And what they experienced in trauma and going from one extreme to another. You can't predict what they're thinking, what they're going to do, how they're going to react. You want to give them the best of everything and hope for the best, but you're not guaranteed anything, even with your own biological children, that the genes you're putting into them. So to sit and pick apart and try to read through the lines on, were their eyes to the left? Did they really want to be in that video? Were their eyes to the right? Were they wearing the purple or the color of the day? I mean, it's like, you can't tell all that from a little TikTok video. Come on. I mean, you can't. And then I think what my issue, got lots of issues with you, Radiant Britt. I really do. I've had issues with you since the old Katie Joy times, and I quit watching her. I quit because I can't stand her personally. That's just my personal. She probably hates me too. I'm okay with it. I don't hate anybody. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I don't hate anybody, but there's just things about her I can't digest when she's talking. She used to ride around in the car and go get a new lip pencil every freaking time I turned it on, and a Starbucks. And I mean, that's not realistic for everybody. And I'm not saying she has to be realistic for all of us, but if you're going to pick someone's content apart, you're a little out there yourself. So a whole nother issue is this dog Axel. I mean, come on, y'all. Dog mom, human mom, dog mom. I am all about my babies, all of them, fur, no fur. But what I heard about something about going to get a tattoo and was having trouble leaving the dog for that amount of time. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, and trust me, I mean, we went on a trip for July 4th. We rented a cabin and went away, and I put the dogs in a special boarding, and it was a camp for them, and they had their own little suite and a camera in the suite, and I could watch them over the internet 24/7 and watch them sleep and do everything and play. And I paid more for their weekend than I did for our weekend. I'm just going to tell you that right off the bat. So I am all about taking care of my animals and spoiling them rotten and whatever. But when it comes to animals over children, I draw a line that there is a difference between animals and children. There just is. You can't tell me they're the same. And I'm telling you, I love my fur babies, but you cannot convince me they're the same. But to leave your dog for a few hours to go get a tattoo and you're having anxiety over it? What about your boyfriend? You leaving him at home? I mean, hello? He's a human. How's that different? What, I'm missing something with you. I really am. But to talk about these children, and especially one in particular, to single one out, I know you talk about all of them on the regular, and that's a whole nother thing. If you don't like something, are you drawing attention to it by giving it content and giving it to the public? Why are you always talking about this woman's kids? What right do you have? So the newest one is that you've taken something that, okay, first of all, children aren't just placed into foster care or somebody else's care outside the parent's home for no reason. 99%. I know there's that one chance that something wasn't quite right, but there's a reason they did it, whether it was logical to all of us or not, but they did. And for them to be gone this long, why are you taking anything that the biological parent said and putting it on the internet, giving them a voice? What voice does that parent need right now? The biological parent that supersedes the one that's caring for them. None of us have heard of any harm done to this child, like true harm. Then you have in your comment section was like, shouldn't social services be called? And where's the CPS? And why do you have any idea what those people do to children that don't need their services? Why would you even put that into the universe, that is something that should even be thought about? Why? You don't have children. That's why. And you don't have to give birth to children to have a motherly instinct. You don't have it. Or you would not have people wanting to put children through that process if they don't need it. No one has harmed those children. Are they getting too much sugar? Are they getting too much time on the internet? Are they talking to someone? You can't control what your children do outside of your presence. You can't. You can instill in them what you would expect of them, what you would like for them to do, but you can't control every aspect of a child. So to put that on her like she's doing something wrong, no, ma'am. That's not how that works. I don't understand why you think you're entitled to even say that. CPS does not belong in everybody's situation. And then that takes a service away from a child who truly needs it. And we all know there's some out there that slip through the cracks. These are already in the system. If you think that just because they're placed in a kinship at some point in time, that they no longer look after them or check up on them, you're wrong. You are so wrong. It may not be as frequent, but they do. They do follow-ups, they do checkups, they do, and if the parents doing if they still have any services to accomplish and they're doing those services like they're supposed to be in their children's life, then even more so that CPS and the caseworkers are going to be involved in the situation to keep up to date on whether there's a reunification. So if you don't know what's going on, why are you speaking on it? And why are you putting that mother's comments out there on the internet to harm her child? It's not okay. It's ridiculous that you think you have a right to do this to these children. Because when they come in, they don't just talk to the if you're doing a CPS call like your followers are putting in the comments, if you're doing that, they're not coming in for one child. They're coming in for all the children. They're putting all those children through that stress and trauma again. Don't do that. It's not okay to do that to anybody. There's people in their lives that can do that outside of social media. But to sit there on your high horse and say, I have to give the mother a voice. No, you don't. No, you don't. And just because people give birth to children doesn't make them parents either. So I'm at a loss with you on why you think this is okay. And whether Alicia's right or wrong to do all this social media and put the kids on there as content on their fun day Sunday, or to show them out. What was the last one I saw? They're out there shooting Nerf guns. Nerf guns. I couldn't think of the word. The foam darts. They had a little fun day out. Is that wrong? That's not my argument. My argument is you picking her apart and picking those children apart and putting them through something they don't deserve. They didn't ask for this. And if you're going to say, well, they have a voice, they don't have a voice, you aren't their voice. You have no right to decide what those children do. She is their parent, period. Point blank, period. She is their parent. If they need investigated, they will be investigated. It won't be on social media for you to talk about how much sugar they had that day, what they washed their dog with. It's ridiculous. I cannot, for the life of me, understand why you think this is something for you to talk about. These are children that are going through a situation because of where they came from in the first place. Now they're in this blended family. They're doing the best they can to provide for them and give them a good, stable life. There's nothing that I've seen that you can tell me that they're not. They're getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have a bed to sleep in. They go on activities. Do you understand that there's children out here that barely, if the standards of having children today in a home are so much less. When I was a child, you had to have boys in a room and girls in a room. Sorry, I thought I turned that off. you had to have a separate room for boys, you had to have a separate room for girls, you had to have a certain type of food in your refrigerator and your cabinets. And I mean, do they want them to have food now? Yes, they do, but it's not, they're not going to say, oh, you have chicken nuggets, you can't have your kids. You have granola bars with the chocolate coating on the bottom instead of just the plain granola bars, you can't have your kids. That's not how this works anymore. There's kids who don't have beds, and that's okay. If they have a blanket, they have a pillow, they have a place to sleep, they have a roof over their head, that's okay. Is that my standard of living? No. But you have to understand there are a lot worse in the world going on than for you to pick this woman apart with her granola bars. There are kids that are they have mental disorders, and I'm not trying to say her kids at all. This is whole different. But I have a friend that's going through social services right now, trying to get her child, sorry, trying to get her offspring all the help she can get, because all of a sudden this child just, there was things that might have been like little red flags, but now all of a sudden this child is wilding out, and this child has done things that she did not raise her this way. She didn't ask for this. Nothing she did. You can't pick what, you can't go back through the timeline and say, oh, when you gave her that cookie, that's when it changed everything. That there are things that chemical imbalances, they're working through meds, they're working through doctors and schools and all the things. And you can't be picking apart somebody for something like that. You just can't. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes to what goes on in a child's developing brain, or what maybe their grandmother that you didn't meet through the dad's side had this one little issue, and it pops up in your child. You can't help that. You can do everything in your power to get the medical treatment and to get the services that child needs, but you can't help that. And I'm gonna bet that this teenager that you're talking about, or this the female, when you start your period, when you start menstruating and stuff, you go you get different hormones, you get different thought processes going on in girls. Trust me. I know boys have their own issues, but we're talking about this female. Things change. And you just have to roll with those punches. So for you to come in and act like, oh, I know what this child needs. I know what she wants. I know what her mom said. Why do you even know what her mom said? Why? Did she reach out to you? No. You took somebody sent you a copy of a private message, a social media, well, not private. I don't want to be wrong in this. The mother, biological mother, posted something on, I'm guessing Facebook, to friends and family, not to public. The little world symbol that goes on with it. And you got sent that message, a screenshot, and you posted it out there like it meant something to you. It means nothing to you. You have no right to that information. You have no right to put it out on the internet. It hurts my heart that you think that you have any right to do this to this child. She's confused enough at the situation that's been put in her lap, and you're going to do something like this? I don't agree with the people picking every little bit apart. I don't agree with, they're her kids. If she wants to put them on social media, if she wants to make $1 off of them, that's her business, and that's what she has to live with. And if the kids have any issue with it, they will let her know. Trust that. It may not be tomorrow, but they will know. So she has to bury that. She has to deal with that situation. She has to carry that to the finish line. That's hers to carry. Why is everybody so concerned? Don't watch it. You know what? If you don't watch, if you don't send people to watch, because this is what's bothering me right now, is that somebody's going to go watch Radiant Britt, and that bothers me that I'm sending you to watch her. But it is what it is. But by you doing what you're doing, you're sending people to watch her content. So you're contributing to the situation. Do you see that? It is what it is. I'm done. I'm just furious. My mom heart is screaming that you have no idea. I understand you're a dog mom. I understand there's moms that don't have children, do have children that are biologically theirs. They you're not born with it, but you're definitely not born with it. You wouldn't put anyone's child through what you're putting them through. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, do your thing. Leave me a comment. I know I'm going to get them. I know I'm going to get them because anybody that talks about Alicia Dougherty, there's people that will come for me just because I mention her name. And I get that. But you know what? I don't care because I'm standing my feelings that this is not for someone else to be. If you think she's wrong for doing it, how wrong are you for doing it to her? That's all I got to say. Bye.